It's a 5-alarm fire at Old Trafford. United drop points to Wolves, which is almost the worst team in EPL history and on track to be so. Absolutely devastating to be a Manchester United fan today.
Unbelievable. Ruben Amorim reverts to the three at the back, and United find a way to drop points against Wolves, like you said, the worst team in EPL history. And honestly, it probably could have been worse. Lammens saved us late. Could have been a loss, a historic loss. I don't know how to feel at this moment.
Look, the manager's fighting ghosts. We went back 4 against Newcastle. We had a great 1-0 gritty win. And to back it up with a 3 at the back change with this team, they don't look comfortable. Dorgu looked good on the right. The manager puts him on the left. Doing too much, Ruben Amorim fighting ghosts and dropping points. Like you said, the worst EPL team in history thus far. We need to see better from this manager. Need to see better from Manchester United.
Yeah, and look, we have players out. We got big players out in defense and attack, but at the same time, he's making it harder on this team by not putting them in position to make advantage of the players you have available. Hook and Zirkzee at halftime didn't really get that, and it goes from worse to worse. So pressure's on the manager. Oof, feeling rough these days.
Well, let's get into it, sir. Let's break down Wolves this game proper. Let's get into the starting 11. We had Lammens in net. He's actually been a bright spot this season. Luke Shaw at left center back in the 3. We had Martinez in the hole and Heaven on the right. Delot was actually right wing back. Dorgu was left wing back, switching from right to left. We had Ugarte Casemiro midfield 2. Cunha, Zirkzee, Sesko up top. The manager switching it back. I feel like he's trolling us. He's trolling the journos. We look good in the 4 with this crew. We would arguably look better. Zirkzee at 10, put Dorgu on the right wing, and he just changes it, and it looks horrible against a horrible team.
Can't help himself. And like you said, even Google, when they showed the formation, they showed a 4 at the back. You're showing the 3 at the back that he reverted to. So I was excited. I was like, hey, we go again. He's finally learned his lesson. And then the minute it kicked off, we saw it was once again reverting to that 3 at the back. Dorgu at wing back, Delot at wing back, and United. I think a lot of it was a proxy. Let's get into that half. First half, United largely controlled the first half, at least until the end of the first half. We looked comfortable in that back 3, but I think we were, leaving some juice on the table. So 15th minute, Sesko created something from nothing. He went just wide from the byline. And then the 27th minute, a bit of luck for Joshua Zirkzee as he finds a goal, even though a lot of rumors about him potentially heading out in January.
Let's go, Zirkzee.
Zirkzee! Oh, it's in! Joshua Zirkzee gives Manchester United the lead. Their first shot on target ends up in the back of the net.
Look, you need it. You're struggling at home against the Wolves side, and you need a goal like that. Zirkzee, a little deflection, but he's doing his machine gun celly on the touchline.
Like the celly. Celly is probably better than goal. You need a little bit of luck sometimes. Speaking of a guy who needs a little bit of luck, he was getting in dangerous moments. 39th minute, Sesko towers high from a header, but his shot blasted off the post. He was a danger man in that first half, linking up with Dorgu. But then Wolves started knocking late in that first half. United showing vulnerability in that midfield with only 2 players. And in the 45th minute, Wolves got a rare goal in general this season.
Great check.
That's not ideal from Zirkzee, and it's in! Wolves are level! It's been coming! Ladislav Krejci thunders the header home! And the team rock bottom of the Premier League strike at Old Trafford.
Rock bottom, and conceding on a set piece. Manchester United. Some things never change.
United way. That's just bad defending, bad clearance from Zirkzee. Ball watching, we've seen that all season. Nobody picking up the last man. And there you go. It's 1-1. And United head into halftime thinking, hey, we're the worst team in the league, worst team in Premier League history. Let's stick with this back 3. Let's make a halftime sub. Jack Fletcher comes on for Zirkzee. I don't get that. Why? We have no other options.
It was tactical after the match. The
tactical,
manager,
what tactics?
Guy scores the goal. You think he's going to be a presence in the box. He subs him for Fletcher. Bit of jobs for the boys.
And a little bit is like unfair to Fletcher because he's a young lad. Didn't really make an impact, to be fair. Newcastle made even less of an impact today against Wolves. Let's get into the second half. 53rd minute, tame header from Sesko, who probably should have done better. This is probably one of his best chances from a Casemiro corner. Nice ball in. 55th minute, Sa scooped the line. The goalkeeper for Wolves scooped the line from Wolves. They almost scored an own goal. So even though United were threatening at times, some of it was from mistakes made by the Wolves players. And then 64th minute, Sen Lammens, like you said, bright spots. There are bright spots this season, and he is one of them. He made 2 big saves in quick succession to keep the game even because they had a chance to go ahead, and I had a feeling we weren't going to get a tying goal to make it 2-2. Subs came out in the 74th minute. Euro and Mendito Mantato, who got his senior debut, came on for Heaven and Ugarte. So more defending, right? He didn't go all in. Got to play a defender on. I can't believe that. And then Dorgu did score in the 90th minute from a rebound, but he was well offside. And that was basically all she wrote. United fall, drop points with a whisper to the worst team in the history of the league. They did show some fight. The Wolves, that is. Wolves showed some fight. Like I said, I think they had some chances to win that game in the second half. But I think the big story is this manager reverting to that back three, sir. Let's get into the stats.
Absolutely. Stats-wise, United 16 shots to Wolves 8, 7 on target for United to their 4, but they did out XG us. We had 56% of the ball at home. Look, it's not good enough. Mark has United with a little more. XG philosophy has Wolves with a little more. So Mark going with 1.39 to their 0.99. Regardless, this team is horrible. Field tilt split it right down the middle. 51% to United to 48% to Wolves. That's not what you want to see. No excuses. Doesn't matter who's out for Manchester United. We have some big players missing. It's this manager and this team and this setup that is just letting him down, and he keeps going back to the well. And unfortunately, you don't want to see that in a manager. You want to be able to have him make adjustments during a game when things aren't going well, and he reverted to the back three, maybe change it to the 4, or bring on some different players. But his subs, we got worse, and Wolves grew into the game. They're comfortable. A team that bad should never be comfortable at Old Trafford, but that has been the theme. Let's listen to what Ruben Amorim had to say live at the presser. He's already looking down.
Okay, start with Dan.
Evening, Ruben. I know you all want to make excuses, but maybe the lack of fluidity with sorts of that. Do you put that down to players you may be missing?
That is normal, but we didn't use that excuse against Newcastle. We are not going to use today, but of course, if you see the game, I understand why we play the way we play today. The lack of fluidity, lack of 1-against-1. We knew that would be a completely different game compared to Newcastle, because in Newcastle we have more space to play. We didn't have to work the play so much, and today we have difficulties in that aspect, and that is clear.
I appreciate it's a different game to Newcastle, but could you just explain the tactical tweak to moving Dorgu back to the left and laying back with it?
No, we knew that they will play with 5. They will use it the width. And today was just to do that, and then sometimes building up with him open or close with Luke Shaw doing the opposite. So we try to arrange the right situations for the situation that we have in the moment.
Samuel.
Ruben, sorry, you said a lot that you know that this team is not a finished article, but is this tonight an example that you need more creativity in your squad?
Oh, that's just a horrible question. Simon Stone, we love you.
Do we?
He's tier 1. He's tier 1.
He's tier 1. We don't pick the tier 1s.
Not a great question from him.
Layup.
This is the worst team in the history of the English Premier League so far, and we played at home. This team was booed at halftime. This team was booed at full time. This team clapped at the fans around the stadium, and we're still booed. People stayed to boo them. This is the most, what's the quote from Gladiator?
Win the crowd and you'll win your freedom. That's all it takes.
You have to win the crowd.
Win the
you
crowd.
can draw Wolves 1-1 and get applauded off at Old Trafford. This team, this manager, these fans are sick of it. At home, West Ham, another relegation-bound team, had one on us. Everton, 10 men. So you go down the list. Bournemouth hadn't had a win in 10. Wolves, how many points they have? We gave
2.
It's like
they
Merry
went
Christmas.
from 2 to 3. 2 to 3.
Like Merry Christmas. And the big thing that obviously everyone's kind of melting down on the internet, and rightfully so. We're just bouncing off the ground with these crap results. The good results are far and few between. The managers, just every presser is up and down, like Jose sort of at the end. And it seems to me that he's lost the main philosophy of Manchester United, which is win at all costs.
Win, baby, win.
Win. You have to win. It doesn't matter how you win. You can get into that. People didn't like LVG passing around. It was a little bit of a snooze, but At the end of the day, it's results-based business, and you have to win. And not beating Wolves when you need it, and it could get you in the top 4, and messing around with the formation again, it's like playing with fire at this point for Ruben Amorim. Because look, it looked great against Newcastle. If you look at the 11, you cannot argue Zirkzee wouldn't be better in the hole behind Sesko. You cannot argue that. Dorgu looked great on the right wing. He should be there again. It's almost like he's trying to prove a point. He's fighting ghosts. Look, Sir Alex Ferguson told Wayne Rooney if he didn't pass to RVP, he'd bench him. He said, this is how we're going to do it this year. We're all going to pass to the Dutch guy who scores every time he's on the field, and it worked. And so he's telling Wayne Rooney, his best player, if you don't get on side on this like basic tactic, it doesn't matter because that's how we're going to win. Ruben Amorim, it's like he's trying to prove a point. He's not trying to win. And I feel like he's playing on hard mode. He's trolling everybody, warming up one way, playing a different way. Too many mind games. You got to keep it simple. You got to play the best for who you got. Sir Alex in 12-13, RVP scoring, pass it to him. That's the best chance we have to win. And Ruben Amorim is trying to, I don't know what he's trying to do, but he's not trying to win with this 11. And he made a mess of it today. And I think people are sick of the mind games. They're sick of this bullshit with him. I totally get it. But at the end of the day, you look at the position in the EPL table, we're not 15th. So it's kind of a complicated situation. I just want us to win and get over all this bullshit. And can he get over it is the real question. It doesn't look like he's doing it.
I don't know where we find these managers because I thought the last Dutch guy was a big gaslighter, and he seems to even be doing it. We didn't think we'd have as much space with the Wolves that we had against Newcastle. Newcastle have not been as good as they have been in previous seasons, but they're a frisky team, much better squad, much better league position than Wolves this year. I think he's a stubborn SOB. At the end of the day, he's so stubborn that he's going to spite himself because it's not even the fact that United are that bad this year. Like I said, we're 6th place. We are objectively better than last year. We're not talking about relegation battles. It's but what could have been. Where could this team be if this manager would just realize he's got to take an L and say, hey, I was wrong. This formation does not work on all the players, whatever. Nobody would care. By the way, nobody at Manchester United, 77,000 people, nobody would give one iota of a concern if you're like, oh, well, I really was in love with that back 3. Like, nobody cares about the back 3 other than Ruben Amorim. Whatever it takes to win. The Zirkzee sub made no sense. He actually felt bad for Jack Fletcher because he came on. He looked way off the mark.
No, but why would you take Zirkzee off?
No point. Zirkzee's going to leave soon. We have no attacking options on the bench. It makes no sense.
He didn't adjust in the first half. The first half against Wolves, who aren't good, doesn't look good. He didn't adjust it to the back.
That's why fans are furious.
By the way, with the starting 11 you had, you played the back 3. You could have gone to a 4 in the first half. Any manager would say, hey, let's try it out. It doesn't work. Switch to the 4. Put Zirkzee in the hole. Do something. It's insane. And then
Plan A never works.
Tactical Zirkzee sub after he scores the goal. Like, give me a break. You're ruining these players. Like, we're not getting better. And that's really the problem is, like, these bad results have come way too much this season. And his reaction to it is like, don't change. No, something has to change. How can we ever win if we're fighting ghosts? It's like he's trying to win an argument with the press. It's a winning games, and we're like letting top 4 slip away. It's insane. We should be 3rd. Manchester United should be. We got rid of the BS. In all honesty, if we got rid of this back 3,
top 4.
Look, you can play
top
a back
4.
3 in the EPL, but we need a whole nother team. We can't do it. If you played simple, we would be so much better given the roster that we have, given the 11 that we even had out today. We'd be better against Wolves. And for him to find a way or play hard mode in a way where we can't beat Wolves, that's a problem. He's got to get out of his own way. And I'm sure Ineos is like rip shit pissed about this.
Because they're not idiots. You know, Jim Ratcliffe might be an idiot, but I have faith that Jim Wilcox and Omar Barada know that this is not working, and they know that this team is doing itself a disservice by lining up with 3 at the back when you have the players that would do better in a position if you were to play 4-3-3, 4-2-3-1. And we saw it. We saw it against Newcastle. They hung in there. We weren't even creating that much. We had holes in the squad, and we put in a really good performance, one of my favorite performances of the season because it showed grit, fight, and a lot of things that we didn't see today by making it harder on ourselves against a really poor side. We look like a really poor side. Fans are frustrated because nobody cares about the formation. Only he cares about the formation. Nobody cares.
But Sir Alex would play any way to win.
Yeah, whatever. Exactly. His approach changed from the 90s to the late 90s to the 2000s based on the squad that he had available, based on the opposition, how other teams lined up, and whatever it took to win.
Exactly. He would look at his
That's
team
all that matters.
And play the best way for that roster to win. And then you win. And then you start getting some mojo, and then you get belief, then you get buy-in, and
Obsession.
it's getting nuts, and I feel like the kettle starting to boil. Storms off the coast.
Especially
I
bad
do
teams.
agree with the table position is good, but these results, Grimsby,
Where could it be, though? Where could we be? We could literally be, like
the
you said.
10-man. Also, the home field results are atrocious. Old Trafford fans are not fickle. I could never imagine. A lot of fans boo.
They're fed up.
People, you have to win the crowd. You have, like Paul Scholes said it. I don't think he gets it. You have to play attacking football at Old Trafford. People don't care if you win, lose. You need to be entertained. You got to be moving. That game today was a stinker of stinkers. It's like Grimsby Town all over again. And how many of those can you have in a season? No matter where you are on the table.
This is third year of bad football. We had a whole year of a whole year of what's his name? Ten Hag, right? He saves his life by getting the FA Cup, and then last year was atrocious. This year is better, but people are frustrated because, like, where could we be? We can be in such a better position if he would just not be the most stubborn manager in the EPL.
We thought we had the most stubborn manager.
Found a more stubborn manager.
But look, there's always a next match, and he can change it against Leeds.
He will change. He's got to change, right?
It's going to be in 2026, so the last pod of the year. Sunday, January 4th, 4:30 a.m. Pacific, 7:30 a.m. Eastern. Are you ready for Leeds and Manchester United coming to this game? I feel like we're perpetually in six, can't punch through.
Yep.
Halfway through the season, 30 points, +4 goal difference. Can't shake your head at that. Scouse Bastards in fourth at 32. They're really going to be the mark to beat for Manchester United. As far as Leeds, 16th, 20 points, and they get 7 goal difference.
Scares me.
We do
worse against we do worse against the terrible teams. It's like the next two teams we're playing, Leeds and Burnley, bottom teams. We don't look good against bottom teams.
It's away, Ellen Road. Sir, give me the weather.
It's going to be a cold one. It's going to be a midday kickoff, like you said, 4:30. So it's going to be noon, and it's going to be just over freezing, sunny, cold. Perfect for a
eye-watering
War of the Roses battle. Yeah, eye-watering cold. Ellen Road, I bet the pies there are fine. They're fine.
Leeds United, founded in 1919. As you know, the Leeds United, Manchester United rivalry goes way back, sir. They play their games at Ellen Road. The club is synonymous with the white strip. That look became iconic in the Rivy era. And still reads like a challenge rather than a fashion choice. Rivalries are not subtle here. Manchester United is the historic flashpoint. It is called the War of the Roses due to the history and the rivalry with the other Yorkshire clubs. So give me a breakdown on Daniel Farke.
Daniel Farke is the 49-year-old German manager of Leeds Scum. He's been in charge of the club since July of 23, brought in to restore order, structure, and momentum, and he has a clear track record of promotion. All about the clear principles. He's known about obsessive preparation, sounds like a proper German, repeatable game model, and getting consistent output from cohesive units rather than relying on one star to solve every problem. That sounds pretty good to me. And they're big on being on the front foot without being reckless. They want compact while having distances between the line, quick recoveries after losing the ball, and purposeful attacking once they win it. Usually play with a back four with a structured midfield, plus wide players asked to run all day. Great, that must be nice to see. And they can flex the shape depending on the opponent and availability. Shifts between a 4-2-3-1, 4-3-3 baseline, at times a back three, or a two-striker setup. So out of possession, they press in organized ways from a mid-block, trying to force play wide and spring trap. So for United, it's all going to be about matching Leeds' intensity. They're going to bring it. They're fighting for their life right now, and United looks like they want to go on vacation. They want to go on January break, maybe go somewhere warm like Dubai. So it's all going to be about playing that first and second phase, passing, getting behind their lines, see if we can get in early. But that's something that I feel like we've really lost a step or two doing without Mbeumo and Amad Diallo on that right wing. That's been so big, kind of linking up. So that's my concern, is that if we play a three at the back, I think we're in for a day of suffering. If we play a four at the back, I think we've got a really good chance to come away with a win. Show us the formation, sir, that we saw from the Wolves performance, even though Google, they thought it was a four at the back for the first time, basically since Erik ten Hag.
Yeah, so looking at what Wolves did, it's the low block. And, three at the back, didn't really do much against it. You can see here our two midfielders, Ugarte, Casemiro, they're not creators, they're well covered. And then pretty much the forward line for Manchester United, including two left and right back players playing out of position, didn't really do much to create. So, anyone like Leeds watching this, probably going to run that back if they sort of come at us and press us high, that will be advantage Manchester United. But I'm going to say they're most likely going to sit in the low block, make United do the work, which we've struggled to do, and then hit us on the break. Lifetime versus Leeds, we've won 50, drawn 37, and lost 26. Coming into this one, we beat Leeds 3 times and drawn twice in the last 5, and we haven't lost to them in the EPL since 2002.
I don't like that. I don't like that. There's a lot of these odds that break. Player to watch. A player that John and I both wanted to sign on a free transfer to give him the lack of depth in number 9 for Manchester United, but this Ineos crew is too damn cute for their own good. They're too clever for their own good, sir. They overthink it.
Resale
We
value.
can't sign a 28-year-old on a free. Guess what? He's got 8 goals and 16 appearances, including 6 in a row. 6 in a row. He's on fire. I think he's going to score against United. And he's exactly the type of player we need to back up a player like Benjamin Sesko adapting to the EPL for the first time. He's still coming up to speed. Don't you think we could have used, old man, who's not even that old? He's only 28.
But Ineos outsmarted themselves.
They always do that. They always do that.
We easily could have afforded his wages. He was on a free, and we opted not to. He does have a bad injury record, but the idea is if you're going to let Højlund go, you need somebody. They just always want resale value. And here's the thing. Cheeto wasn't even ready. So the idea that they went with the options we have from a striker perspective, ridiculous. Leeds, they beat Chelsea 3-1. Drew Liverpool.
Who's up on the
Drew
up.
Brentford.
Smoke
beat
Palace.
Crystal Palace.
They're good,
so
dude.
They
They are a good
They
team.
are on the rise.
They
so
are.
They're not really have great position in the table, but they're on a run. Fark has found something. Those are better results than we've seen from Manchester United. Looking at their formation here, they got the 3-5-2. DCL is on a run.
Aronson,
not
they got
much
the American. He's actually coming
Brendan
into
Aronson,
form.
yeah. Shout out U.S. Men's National Team World Cup 2026, winning it all. Looking at the injuries, sir. What do they got?
Couple injuries, nothing notable. Obviously, Dan James is out with a hamstring. Sean Longstaff hilariously quoted £50 million for against United back in the day, and he now plays for Leeds. But no big omissions. The players that we just flashed in that 11, they're the players to keep an eye on. Let's talk about Manchester United's 11. This is the 11 from the Wolves match with the 3 at the back. Will we see the 3 at the back again? That's the question, sir.
We had Lammens, Martinez, Heaven, Shaw, Delo, Ugarte, Casemiro, Dorgu. Then we had Cunha, Zirkzee, and Sesko. You got to play this 11, but you got to do it the right way with the back 4. Zirkzee thrives in the hole. If he's going to play or succeed for Manchester United at all, obviously he has a lot going on in the January transfer window. That's not going to help, but we don't have a lot of bodies, so I like to see him playing in the 10 with Cunha on the left, cutting inside, and Dorgu looked amazing on the right wing, so why don't you play him there again? I think keep it simple. It's Leeds. Don't overcomplicate it.
You also need another player with pace to threaten that defense, because what happened with Cunha as the only threatening attacking player with any kind of speed is that they tripled him. All game against Wolves. Dorgu, you need his versatility and his dynamic play that kind of kept players on the back of their heels. We got to see that again. It's easier to defend against that 3 at the back. It's it makes no sense. The odds have tightened. Let's talk about odds. Leeds, slight underdogs. Slight for a team that's sitting in the bottom half of the table against 6th place United. Plus 175 for Leeds Scum. Plus 230 for the draw. And plus 155 for Manchester United away. That is not great. So you are up.
Form goes a long way for the bookies, and United look like to be fading with that performance against Wolves. Fan predictions. Go to MUFCpredict.com. Sign up for our fan predictions right now. Fans say it was a 100% win for Wolves. We ended up drawing. 77% say Manchester United win versus Leeds. I am up on the contest as far as predictions here go. I feel like when I predict a loss, we usually win. So I'm going to say Leeds 1, Manchester United 0. That's going to be my prediction.
I am also calling a loss. I think it's going to be 3-1 Leeds. I think it's going to be one of those dark days.
It should not be, for the record.
No, it should not be. But I think he's such a stubborn SOB. He's going to be like, you know what? We really need to play a back 3.
Where's the hope?
Where's
the hope?
It's right there. It's right in front of us. It's right in front of us.
Where's the hope? All right. It is halfway through the season for Manchester United. You play 38. We have played 19. It's time to give our halfway season grade, mid-season grade. Here we do it on the A, B, C, D, and F scale for Ruben Amorim and Manchester United. 19 played. We've won 8. We have drawn 6. We have lost 5. We've scored 33. We've conceded 29. We have a positive goal difference of 4. We have 30 points, which is 15 off the top. Oof. It is 2 off of top 4, but you really got to see here as a United fan, everyone's saying 6, 6, 6. Third, Villa has 39. So we're pretty much off. That you're almost air gapped from Villa there.
No, it's 5th. It's because Liverpool still have a game in hand. They're playing. I think they're playing Leeds actually on Thursday. They could be at 35 points by the end of game week.
Yeah, but Liverpool
19.
are screaming past us. Remember?
No, I agree. They're in form now.
So we're just United are
We're
treading
bobbing.
water. We're treading water 6th, 7th, 8th, and other teams are moving up. And so Liverpool's really moving up. Chelsea's hit a skid. As far as 5th and whether that's going to get Champions League, most likely, we don't know. So you can't just say 5th is locked on. 5th, 6th, we're in the European strike zone. But as far as Champions League goes, if you look at United's schedule, these are the easy games that we should have been chipping up. And then the tougher fixtures are going to come with the cities down, and Arsenal's as well down the line quickly. So Manchester United, a lot to do. And making a meal of a lot of the easy fixtures and a lot of free points, if you will.
No, because we could be in a position where we are firmly in 4th place. Liverpool really skidded. That was an opportunity to take advantage of. They've now hit form. Wirtz finally got a goal. Ekitike is in real form. He's scoring goals. So I feel like it's the 5th spot that we're going to fight out with Chelsea. I think Liverpool are going to be firmly in the top 4. I think Arsenal really kind of smoked Villa today, so it's really going to be a City-Arsenal race. You would think Villa would probably fall off. They're over exceeding XG. I think Chelsea are kind of falling. I think we have a better starting 11 with everybody available than Chelsea does. It's just that what's the formation?
But Chelsea are falling, and they have the same record in the last 5 that we do. And so, you know what I mean? So the idea that we got to play well. You not have to find form. We got to win.
We're not going to stumble into 5th place, but it's there for the grabbing.
Do something. I do agree it's there, but it's not as strong of a 6th as I want to say. And the main why is it not that strong of a 6th? Because we've conceded 29 goals, and the only other team to concede more than that is Bournemouth in 15th place. If you go down the table,
that's it.
That's it. It's like that's very bad.
That's a lot of
that
goals.
is very bad. Look, United can we survive doing that? And that's where the formation, control of the midfield, being wide open, has had our problems. And for me, this is a critical issue. The table position is strong, but I just think it looks better than it actually is given our form. Now, getting into the XG table here to give a proper grade, Manchester United are 3rd in XG created. We're 11th in XG conceded. That's really the problem. We talked about the defense. On X points, Manchester United should be I want to say 4th in the league if you add the XG in every single game as far as we were outplaying teams. But it feels like these results, you want to see a trend line, and we keep bouncing off the floor. We're not really continuing that rise, and that's there's a lot of red flags I have. It's the intangibles with Manchester United. So for me, with my grade, looking at Ruben Amorim, I tweeted out, hey, these are inversion is helpful to solve problems. So if you say, okay, here's all the things we've done wrong, what would we need to do to be going in the right direction under Ruben Amorim halfway through the season? I would say we need to be dominating bad teams. We need to have bench players coming in and making an impact because they understand the system. They understand the instructions from the manager. We need him to be making adjustments in game and improving the team, right? Say it starts off at Wolves, not great. He makes a change and then we win. I think that's something that would be a green shoot. We need to see intensity for a full 90 minutes. We need to see young talents improving under the manager. Like he's not shunning Kobe Mainoo. We're actually getting the best out of the players that we have. And we would see competitive, strong performances, maybe not results against top sides, but we'd be trying and going toe to toe. And there would be like an overall unity and togetherness. And I would add one more for the manager where he'd be handling the press in a way where it's not creating constant drama. Now, looking at this list, I'm going to write, I don't see any green shoots.
Any of them.
And these are the intangible factors in my grading where, like, in year 2, you need to be seeing a lot of these. And when you're not, you're concerned as a fan.
So what's your rating?
What do you think of this criteria?
I mean, I think this is the fair criteria. I like the inversion. I think that's like great. I think we are seeing elements of this at times. I think there is a relentless intensity, but not for full 90 minutes. I think the best we've played at times, we've been really high in that front press. That you saw that with Arsenal, you saw that with moments in some of these top teams. Young talents, I think about Aiden Heaven and how he's kind of like grabbed that position for himself. Dogu's having a resurgence. Lammens.
But Dogu's been up and down in the season.
I'm just trying. Sorry, you're not going to see all of it.
No,
I'm just
what
trying
I'm
to
saying is like I agree on Heaven, and that's recent. That's very recent.
But let me finish my points, and then you can cut holes through them.
No, I know, but these are not like one time.
We're not showing them on a binary basis. If it was a 1 or 0, we're not seeing any of this on a complete 100%. But I'm just saying, you asked me about green shoots. I'm trying to be positive. I am seeing some elements of this. Some competitive, strong displays against top sides. We arguably should have beat Arsenal.
That's
we shouldn't
fair.
have
I agree
lost
on
to
the
Villa.
strong side displays.
You know, we beat Liverpool. We beat Brighton, we beat Palace, but we also lose. We drop points to Wolves. We're probably going to drop points to Leeds.
Another one I would add would be open
press
play.
conferences.
I would say creating and finishing chances for open play, where we've been heavily long throws and set piece dependent on scoring goals.
I don't have a problem with that.
Well, you need to, because it's not sustainable, and ultimately, like, this is what I'm trying to show is it's the manager can do certain things. And like some things are out of your control. You can create more XG and lose. The manager can get players to run for him. Like, we are not seeing that. Like, the Wolves' effort is atrocious. Like, that is the definition of not getting the intensity. And it has to be for the full game, because we've seen United come off the boil. We've seen them take our foot off. There's so much inconsistency across everything. The manager is the only person that can maintain consistency. And we're not saying this 3 months in. We're saying this, in halfway through our second season, and a year into, a tough 2025. And I just am this list of issues is what makes me concerned. So as far as grades go, we tweeted it out, the poll halfway through the season. How would you grade? A, B, C, and D and F would be one category. We had 2%.
Shout out to the A's.
To the
Shout out
excellent.
to whoever gave him an A. I like that. That's great.
8.7% say B, 50% say C, 40% say D. Sir, that's pretty heavy. 90% say C, D, F. So what do you got?
I mean, I'm a C. I think there is a big improvement from last year. I think a lot of it actually is recruitment. Like, two of the biggest issues last season, we hammered this time and again. Goalkeepers made constant errors that led in goals, and we couldn't score goals. That was the second issue. We couldn't score goals. We are scoring more goals. Some of that is set-piece conversion, like you hammered on, but some of it is we have better players that have come in the form of Cunha and Mbumo, Sesko, etc. So I'm a C, but also I think we're leaving points on the board. Like, we are losing. We play down to opponents. We play up to opponents. If he just played a 4-2-3-1 or a 4-3-3, we would be knocking. We'd be firmly in fourth place, I think, ahead of Liverpool, probably behind the other teams. He'd probably get a B+ for me, because there'd be something else he'd do in the pressers I hate. But I'm a C because, we are sixth place. Certain things have improved, but I think he's playing on, like you said, playing on hard mode. We're training at altitude. Like, we are running up hills at 12,000 feet, huffing and puffing for no reason. We can play at elevation. I mean, play at fucking, like whatever, sea level. What do you got?
How can you, is C is like an average? We
C is
got
a poor
Grimsby
grade.
Town.
C is a poor grade.
Grimsby Town.
That was in August, dude.
This is we're judging the season, so
Yeah,
it's like
season
it does. August counts. It doesn't just go like.
I'm
Grimsby
aware.
Town.
I'm aware, but we're in sixth place. So
Grimsby
what do you?
Town.
So you're gonna give him an F?
No, what I'm saying is like a C with Grimsby Town. That's like that is a probably once in a 40-year like L to be eliminated.
So give me your
in the
rating.
first round.
Give me your rating.
No, I'm just asking.
Grimsby Town is like
West
one
Ham?
off.
10-man Everton.
So give me your F, sir.
I'm just being,
You're
no,
like
I'm
a harsh
just,
grader.
No, but it's not like we're beating these bad
When's
teams.
the last
and
time
struggling.
we won in
it's
Anfield?
pretty
We
bad.
won in Anfield for the first time in 10 years. Like you want,
And that's what that's one.
Well, so is Grimsby's one.
But I say West Ham.
So
then
you're
I
gonna
say
give him
Everton.
an F. So give him an F.
These are
Cook them.
I'm being like how can you look at that type of form and results and be like this is average.
Well,
C to me is
clearly,
average.
half
Average would be you
half
beat
of the
bad
fans
teams,
agree.
you
Half of
lose.
the fans agree with me. So clearly, like there is a way.
There's a dialogue. It's a podcast. We're just shooting this. Like you're supposed to be like just back and forth talking about it. So I'm saying that ultimately,
I think the sixth
average
place.
for me would be you beat the teams 10th and below, and you probably struggle against the better teams. And that would be some sort of level we could find and then chip up from there. I'd be more comfortable giving a C, but having like the inconsistency of like beating the Liverpool away and then Grimsby Town and then West Ham and then Everton and then Bournemouth, like, and the fact that it's at home and the Wolves to me is like, these are calamitous results. It have to be, it's got to be a D. I'm not going F. I'm not a troll. But this is below average for Manchester United. Like, to be honest, these are red flags.
C is not a good grade, to be fair.
These results are staring us in the face, and like they are red flags. The house is not burning down. We're in 6th place, but what this manager is doing with this team and how he's able to get us to play this poor against these teams that are that bad in these spots, it's a red flag. I like Ruben Amorim. I don't know what's going on, but you can't ignore it. You can't, because no good team plays this bad against these teams.
Well,
by the way, Wolves was 1-1 at half the last game we played.
Well, here's the real thing.
1-1 at half this game. Can't make the adjustment.
Here's the real thing. What did he get last year? He got an F. I mean, he failed. Yeah. He got even get a 0.0. He got an incomplete. Like, he didn't even show up to enough class. So when you're coming off an F, a C is not that great. You know, like if you came to your parents with an F and you're like, I'm going to turn it around, and then you show up, then you show up the next semester and you get a C, they'd be like, you're a bum. You got to hitting B's, you got to be hitting A's. And the league formation, I think the league place, we're not finished, we haven't done anything yet, is covering up a lot of the ills. I think, you know, the goals are covering up a lot of the ills, but you're coming off an F season. I think a C feels fair, but it's like, hey, we're still halfway through the year.
These results that drag. By the way, if all these results were in August and then we haven't seen them ever again and we got them out of our system, then I'd be more confident with the. Or yes, if we made a confident switch, or we're going in the right direction.
But if you finish in 6th place today, right, end of the season,
we're having these horrid, like these are games you can't shake. You know, hey, maybe Fulham will get you in a trap game, but you're still playing well. This is like. It's all burning down. He's almost to the fact where he's going to start saying he's going to quit again. How many times has he said that? By the way, let's talk about the grade when the manager says, I might just give up.
Talk about
I might just leave. Like how many times? Like, is that coming back?
No, that's an
it
F.
looks like it's coming
that's
back.
That's an F. I mean, that's an F.
If Leeds beat us, it's like he's coming back, bro.
That's
so
like sad emo Ruben is right around the corner.
Fine. Grade as pressers then.
F.
F. Yes, exactly.
No, he is the worst press conference giver I've ever seen at Manchester United.
He's Jose.
No, he's worse than Jose.
He's Jose.
Because Jose came in and he knew how to play the game. Jose knows how to manipulate the media. He's very, very good at pulling the strings. This guy is like, he's like, you know, my ex-girlfriend from high school. Like hot, cold, up, down, like what, all over the place. Just like, take it easy, man. Like, take it easy. Keep it calm. And do you think any of us are like, hey, man, do less? Hey, they must have some coaching, some high-paid consultants who can be like, don't say this. I just think he is stubborn AF, and he likes to put his foot in his mouth, and just like he doesn't care. I don't think he cares that much. I think he cares more about his own kind of persona than he cares about the Manchester United
Well, he's
job.
looking that way, and that's where I'm losing it. There's so much hope. There's so much like people being like, oh, you're too harsh.
It's all doom and gloom.
This is the manager is clearly playing games with this formation, and Ineos is frustrated, and they don't want to admit the L because they appointed a manager who plays a different way than what this team probably needs, which is evidently clear how many months into his tenure. Amorim doesn't want to eat the L and like just move on to play the best way for what this team needs and these players because they can't do what he wants. And everyone's just like getting defensive. And when you're doing that, you're not winning. You're not trying to win. You need to look at this roster and be like, how can we play? Put it into AI, super intelligence, whatever. You got that data guy from F1. Figure out.
That guy.
He could tell you.
He's smart.
Play this way. You should do that.
He's not telling him to play this.
And by the way, we have good players. Like the recruitment has gotten better. And Ugarte, Zirkzee, there's still going to be issues. Ineos is going to make mistakes. But we did get good signings. And if you look at this team, especially with AFCON going on, against Wolves, the back four, setting up that way with Zirkzee in the 10, with Dorgu on the right wing, would have been better than what he did, and he's doing it. And I question the reasons why he's changing it so much. And so that, and if you're there, then you're not fighting the mission, which is win at all costs. That is the best for the team. And once you're in that land, it's so bizarre that, like, you know, I can't really I can't get up for that. Because I have no idea what you're getting for Leeds. You're going to get a pre-match presser with a bunch of zingers. You're going to get something coming out, and I told you so, and this and that, and it's kind of getting a little crazy at Manchester United when it should be much more simple. It's hard enough to win anyway. Go to Leeds and just get it done.
And the funny thing is like if he just played forward the back from game one, we had the exact same results, exact same league position, minus the pressers. I'd give him a B. I'd be like, hey, you're in 6th place. That's a big step from 15th. Grimsby, it happens. But playing in a way that's conducive with the players you have on the pitch while also not causing controversy just because you're a stubborn SOB that has to like fight the press. This would be progress. But he's pissing the fans off because they can't stand the pressers and they can't stand the formation because they know we're better than this. That's the thing is we know this ain't Fred, bro.
No, we're better.
We don't have
We're
Fred
better.
like bumbling around. It's like we have good players. I know he got a thin squad at the moment, but like we are much better than 1-1 against Wolves.
Hey, I'd rather be a harsh grader than not. This is Manchester United. Everyone needs to remember that, sir. Glory, glory, Man United. All right. Moving on, we got FIFA looking to implement a big rule. Arsene Wenger, don't agree with him on much, but this one is something I think has been needed for a long time. We're talking about the offsides rule, which has stood the test of time. I want to say 120 years since the FA implemented it. The issue with offsides right now, Wenger basically said, right now, if there's any body part past the last defender that you can score with, right, it's your shoulder, essentially, shoulder, knee, foot, etc. If you're past the defender, you are offsides. And instead, if there's any part of your body that is overlapping with the defender, you would be onside, akin more to like hockey, where players, there's a line, they drag their foot, and they can be in the zone but have their foot behind the line. So you have your foot behind the defender, and you give the advantage to the attacker. And I've always thought that this makes the most sense. It adds goals, which we need because there's so many goals that we've watched United get called off for offsides. That's completely BS. It's in the spirit of the game to advantage the attacker. And I just like the idea of doing this and changing it and making it more aggressive because who wants to see goals taken back by, you know, a shoulder or a part of a jersey? It's just crazy.
Yeah, I think I'm more open to the middle ground. I mean, this image really kind of shook me. Like, that is quite a distance between those two players. I want more goals. I want more benefit of the doubt. I would opt for a thicker line. So the margin is wider. So there's like more kind of, all right, we're not going to do it to the hair, you know, to an inch, to the thinness of a sheet of paper. So you get more benefit of the doubt. You do want more goals. Some of the decision making now is absurd. Also, like, just the, you know, this is a FIFA decision, of course, but the FA around making onside calls with the VAR is like so clunky. You know, can they do this in a way?
Because like it's the shoulder.
They take forever. Everything takes forever in the FA. But all I'm saying is like I would do something in between. That just feels like a big change for football. Like that would fundamentally change football. It would fundamentally change how you play a high line. Like you probably wouldn't see a high line anymore, given the fact that like you could basically take advantage of anybody.
No, but if you think about it, just from a first principles perspective, if you have two people standing side by side and someone passes the ball to get in behind, right? And say if I'm square with you in some semblance of a way, and the ball goes overhead, and I just go, part of me is going to be ahead of you, and I just feel like the attacker always having to be behind the defender. That's not what you would call from a first principles perspective, like a natural phase of play. It kind of defeats the purpose of offsides where like now you're a wall that I got to be behind instead of just being in line with you. And just like, as soon as the ball's kicked, I just run. And as long as a part of me is in line with you, that's fair. And I just think that ultimately is like how it should be played and just more natural because it's almost like the offsides rule is so against the attack that they have to play behind the defender at all times. And instead they should be like in line with them like the game is naturally played, and offside should be more forgiving like this. So I actually like this rule. It'll add to more goals. It obviously advantages the attack, but think of like any sport like NFL. All the advantages to the offense in the NFL, that's led to more goals. It's led to more money. It's led to a better game. Hockey as well. It used to be like low scoring, super bruiser level. They made it completely offensive friendly. The game got more exciting, higher scoring. I think this is what football is going to go to. This is what people want.
I think it would be such a diversion from the current rules that I'd be like a fundamental change of the sport that I might be a bridge too far. For me personally, I just think it would be such a change. Like, think about a football game, like how much different just the link up play and just like decision making around runs. How many goals would Holland score? It's like put the ball behind that beast mode. It would be exciting. I worry about like them making a fundamental change like that because it's a big one. So we'll see. One to keep an eye on. I mean, the World Cup is right around the corner. Like, if they're going to do this, don't they have to kind of like bleed it out? They have to do a bloody.
No, I don't think
period,
it'll
right?
come in for the World Cup, but
One to keep an eye on.
we're going to see next bit here on the podcast. We got an amazing interview from friend of the pod, Stan Chow, came on to talk about Manchester United, Ruben Amorim, and everything going on at the club right now. Let's get into the interview.
Here on the American Devils Live with the world famous illustrator and artist and friend of the pod, Stan Chow. Stan, it's great to see you. Great to have you back on the pod. How are things on your end? How is everything in your neck of the woods?
Everything's good, thank you. Well, kind of good. I'm just kind of hanging on the edge of my seats watching the football. But last time I've spoken to you, I went to Bilbao, saw the Europa Cup final, had 3 great days in Bilbao. Obviously, the last evening was just couldn't have gone worse, really. And then, well, this season, it's been looking good, but then it's been so up and down. It really can't tell what's going on. I'm not fully convinced yet. And but on the whole, we're 6. Can't complain about 6. We should be better. We should be higher. I think some of the results haven't gone our way. This is the situation we're in. You see, I mean, we're doing all right, but we should be better. That's as simple as that. You can see something's happening, but still, there's something not quite right.
Yeah, I think let's dive right into, like you said, I think fans frustrated from last year, 15th place, abysmal football, that Europa League final, it was there to be won, and we had the extra defender on throughout the game. So where's your head at with this manager? Like you said, the team is so volatile. You think Ruben Amorim should have even gotten this season after how last season gone?
I think he should have got the season because the whole reasoning behind him, he had to learn the Premier League to understand the Premier League, but I just don't feel the system is right. Football has moved on. Football is evolving so much, especially even this season, and I feel he needs to evolve like with the new football that we're watching. Like last season, everyone was pressing. Like pressing from the front. We're not, teams aren't doing that anymore because teams know how to adapt to that high pressing, and I feel like even though we're not like pressing high, but like we still have to kind of have a style that is actually that fits with the evolution of the football that we're seeing today. Okay, we're playing longer balls, but I just don't feel there's something missing. I can't figure out what it is. Well, what I figured what's missing is that we're lacking one midfielder in the middle. Either the one of the defenders like in the back three aren't coming up enough, into midfield. When he talks about like having the spare defender coming into the midfield, but that doesn't seem to be happening enough. We're still getting like on the counter, there's still massive holes, like in our midfield, and I don't feel Bruno is in the right position. Bruno should be further forward, even though he's creating so much and scoring goals from a deeper position. He should be further up. I feel like Cobby isn't getting enough minutes. And the thing is that someone so as good as Cobby, he should be. The system should. Amorim should have a system that fits a player of that quality in the team, really, and that's where I'm at, really. I'm happy that we're kind of not 15th anymore, but I'm disappointed that certain aspects that the football isn't great to watch.
How much of that do you think is up to that back three? We talk about light in the midfield. I feel like we could use a third midfielder, play a 4-3-3, play a 4-2-3-1 with Bruno on the 10. Does it feel anti-United? Our history is built on playing attacking football. Something about this extra defender, especially after the Europa League final, just, it's hard for me.
Yeah, I feel like, yeah, it's not very united. You know what I mean? We're so used to seeing like two fullbacks and two wingers. You know what I mean? And like and I mean, it's like the thing is like if the football ultimately, I feel like you know, like 3-4-3. If the football is more exciting, then yeah, it's pure United. You mean you know? Because ultimately, it doesn't really matter what the formation is as long as the football is really exciting. Really, you mean you know? Because I'm sure, yeah, no, like Fergie played with different formations. You mean you know? Sometimes
Right.
he tried three at the back. Sometimes it's a 4-3-3. Sometimes a 4-4-2. Sometimes a 4-5-1. You mean you know? Whatever. But ultimately, it was pretty exciting football. You know, and I feel like. You know, maybe it is like the state of current football in the Premier League. It has changed. You know, what I mean, everyone's still trying to find the perfect style, perfect formation, and we're going through what's like a transitional stage. Football is going through a transitional stage, I reckon, to actually find football that's entertaining, really. I mean, I think ultimately most teams do want to play entertaining football, but to kind of like but also balance it out with like you know, staying solid as well. You mean it's I guess it's really difficult to be a solid team and also play entertaining football and not be completely wide open. You know, and that's the hard bit really. But ultimately, that's why we got someone like Amorim who should be able to kind of have a side that is solid but also entertaining as well.
Yeah.
Look, Stan Chow, great interview from the legendary Stan Chow. Thanks so much for coming on the podcast. He said it well. Sometimes the football's hard to watch, and Amorim should be able to play the entertaining way that Manchester United, you know, fans deserve to see. And we haven't seen enough of it, I think. I think Stan actually summed up very well.
He did. You know, he's like hinted around, hey, if I went to Bilbao, I'd be a lot madder than Stan is. You know, where's that extra midfielder? It just doesn't feel right. You watch it, it just doesn't feel right. This 11, the way we line up, the way the manager talks to the press, it's just like it doesn't feel Manchester United. And I hate to say about vibes, but the vibe is wrong. The milk's gone bad. It's like it just don't feel good. And that's where we're at the moment. So, I hope he learns. You know, I don't want to fire the manager, but like if he's going to be a stubborn SOB that's like, you know, I don't care about anybody else except for me being right, then that has no place in Manchester United because you have to be adaptable. Look, he'd even Stan said the game is changing from last year. He's right. He's like everybody used to high press, then you realize that you can play around that. People seem to sit back more. You have to be adaptable. And this manager, he doesn't even get it right that often with the subs. So the fact that plan A is always wrong, like that's not a position you want to be in. Like Ten Hag, he would often change it up because it didn't go right, but sometimes it did. And I feel like our plan A never goes right.
Sir, the fans at halftime, boo. The fans at full time, boo.
That's the best. They stayed around longer just to boo them. On a night game.
Yes.
A night game.
So, yeah, that is all you need to know. That means that's the voice. That's the D. By the way, those people aren't given C's.
C minus.
They're not given C's.
Sixth place.
That's not like okay job right there. That is
boo.
Fans at halftime booing, fans at full time booing. These are fans that are not fickle, but you have to.
Sick of it.
Manchester United, it's really important. It's home games are so critical because this stadium, Theater of Dreams, it's a fortress, 70,000 plus, every game, ready to rock, ready to go. You got to get them out of their seats. You got to play attacking, entertaining football. You got to win. And we had literally the easiest teams, and we've played horrid at home. The home fans, that's your bread and butter. You got to win at home against bad teams. And this team, even under Eric Ten Hag, struggle against bad teams at home, and nothing will get fans offside faster than that. Let's get into some fan questions. At Randy Scrandiel. Don't know about you guys, but having a tough time thinking up the right words to voice just how completely appalling that was. Outperformed at home against the worst Premier League team we've ever seen. If they all had their contracts torn up post-match, it would have my vote. 2025 sucked. In 2025, Ruben Amorim has lost more games than he has won in the league. low 40s win percentage. At you, Bosun can't support this manager anymore after showing some flexibility and exciting play against Newcastle. He returns to that absolutely shite defensive players against horrific Wolves. If not for Lammens' heroics, this would have been an L. Lack of players, no excuse. There are no excuses for
Shout out
this.
to Lammens. Honestly, he kept it 3. He kept it at 1 point because they would have gotten a win, and that would have been really bad.
Yeah, but the intangible is the fact that Wolves were comfortable. It's not like they scrapped out or they were the team
No, they
looking
had
to
a
win.
chance. It was an even game.
That's where you get into.
They deserved a draw.
That's where you get into. This is, D. That's where I get into that D.
This guy
When
going
the
back to his
Wolves-
score.
But the worst team in EPL history are going for the win.
No, it was
That
an even
is
game.
no
It was like they
excuse.
deserved a point. We didn't deserve
No
more than
excuse.
a point. No, it was bad.
At Christian G, I'm finally hammering out. Give me a coach that can coach wins, don't care about formations, excitement, or anything else. I'm so done. How many times will the league and other teams give us a chance for top 4? I'm done. Holy cow, I'm done. At Fairway Freddy, time. It's just a matter of time for this coach. This season, 4th or 5th is available, but he's unable to grasp the nettle and turn the momentum our way in the style truly great managers can. Why would the board invest in this coaching team?
They haven't
They're
bought.
not
They haven't
really.
bought a wing back. I mean, they haven't bought a wing back. Dorgu will play as a left back. I have no problem in a 4 at the back. Cunha and Mbumo, Sesko have no problem with, in a 4-2-3-1 and a 4-3-3. They've still not bought like an out and out wing back because I don't think they do believe in him fully.
Yeah, and Christian asked the same thing. Why buy him the players? I think Ineos is hedging. No one's bought they haven't bought the wing backs yet. The one thing he is doing is like if Kobe goes, that's where you're getting into like creating damage territory. And I just feel like we need to somehow figure out Amorim and Kobe sort of getting him to play in some semblance. At Maba 13, I do not care that we're down players. This is the worst Premier League team in Premier League history, and we draw them at home. It's 100% unacceptable. This is the Everton loss against 10 men, Grimsby, and a ton of other poor results. Amorim out all the way out. At Grifter, I know you're going to say Amorim is stubborn, but we are past that. This is stupidity. He cares more about his ego and passing blame than he does actually about winning. Wolves, 10-man Everton, Grimsby, this coach and his shit scheme don't work at this level. Look, this is, we got some pretty sharp cats here listening to the podcast. People are saying Amorim out. People are coming at him, but sir, no one's talking about that Liverpool win. It's the off-field antics. It's the stubbornness. It's the gaslighting the fans. It's the warming up in this formation, playing this formation. It's giving it, like, Amorim's the type of guy that he beat Newcastle with the back four, and he was pissed.
He looked pissed.
And how can he
We
do
broke the
that
match
as a
down.
manager?
We broke the match down.
And after the match, he goes back four. You don't have any questions now, like almost throwing it at. He's
like-
got to get
he's
over
like-
this English press thing, and he's got to just focus on winning. And if you're shouting at clouds and things aren't going your way, you got to ask why. Maybe your energy shouldn't be spent at shouting at clouds.
I mean, you want to be stubborn to a degree, but he's obscenely stubborn. Like Fergie was stubborn in his way, but he was flexible. And this guy is like, I don't know, maybe he's young. He is young. He's a young manager. He's 40 years old. And sometimes wisdom comes with age. He's like our age. And I think he needs to grow up a little bit because it's a little bit like he's naive. He's too proud. I mean, maybe it's that Portuguese pride, but he's bottling in it, and he has no reason to. Like if we did this with a back four and we out XG'd them and they hung on and they were like their goalie just had a day, people wouldn't feel this way. But we know that positions are there to be grabbed, and we're just like letting it go by for the ego of our manager, this guy Ruben.
We have to be better than at this point in his tenure last season. Even if you write that off, like this team. 6th place is exactly where you would expect us to be, but these types of results and these games in the press, it's just like
it's wearing the fans down. Like we're sick of it. Everyone's exhausted. You could tell by the booing, the boo boys, and you could tell by the fan questions. It's like you're talking about the podcast hosts.
By the way, that list I made of like the inversion, it'd be like fans cheering at home games.
Right.
Would you want like not like just booing?
I've
up.
seen games where we got clapped off and we lost
Of
because
course,
they put
that
so
was
much
a
effort.
thing.
Like they used to like get clapped off losing
That's
because
made me
they put so
so-
much gumption and they would be like pinning teams back. Remember we used to pin teams back, wave after wave. And I love that feeling. There's nothing that makes me
Pin them back.
Even if we don't win, dude. I love that feeling. Pinning a team back like back heels and they're hanging on. And that used to be the greatest thing ever. It didn't always work, but
And
when
now
it
we're,
did,
like,
that was,
getting away with-
like fourth. This guy manager is like yelling at people. It's like, what are we doing? Give me Gareth Southgate.
Yeah, I don't think Ineos has the. I don't think they got the guts, and that's where
Too clever. They're too clever.
Ineos has made a bunch of big calls in this team, and the two big calls I think they bottled. I think they got the keeping Ten Hag one. That was a big call. Ashworth, another, and then Amorim. Like Ashworth and Amorim go hand in hand. Where Ashworth was like, "Do not hire this guy because we do not have the roster to play this way."
You're out. Say what I
Got
don't want to hear.
fired
You're
for
not
it.
fired.
Got fired. Barada, Wilcox backed for Amorim, and then now Ineos is sort of backed in a corner where the hard decision is to realize that this isn't the way. If you need Amorim to play a back four, then why'd you hire him? And then they look like idiots, and then Amorim looks like an idiot, and everybody is pointing fingers. And I think ultimately the hard call is to be like, fire him, and then be like, we shouldn't have brought him in. We didn't have the money to give him the players that he needed to play this way. And this was our mistake. He's a great coach. He did a good job, and we set him up to fail. That is what a leader would do. And then bring in the proper coach. And I still think this team can literally finish fourth. We can get the fourth spot. We can compete for it, but we can't play these games. So whether Aram is going to put up his hands and be like, I got it wrong,
they're
and
not
now
gonna
we're going to
yeah.
do it, which is not going to happen. And Ineos is going to like either make him do it. Making him do it isn't the answer either, which I'm sure those conversations are going on, and that's a bad line. So we're going to keep you posted. We got another game against Leeds. I think we're going to win. I don't know. We'll see.
I think we both called losses. I don't think we think we're going to win.
Yeah, but when I predict a loss, we win.
Yeah, we'll
so
see.
it's a reverse.
Both managers, we had two finals in the last 2 years. We ended both seasons with a final. Both managers probably should have gotten fired right after those finals. Ten Hag after the FA Cup, Ruben Amorim after the Europa League final. And if he changed his ways, it'd be one thing. But we've shown that even when he does change his ways and it works, he resents it. And that is not something you want at Manchester United, because that's too much ego for a club that's the biggest club in the world. Like you can't have someone who thinks that they're bigger than Manchester United. And in some ways, he kind of does, because he's acting like, well, I can do whatever I want because this three at the back is like really hot in Portugal, against like Obofo, like sweet dude. Have you seen Yorkeresh's touch? Like he was killing it in Portuguese league. That means nothing here in England. So rant over. Appreciate all you. America Red Devils, greatest podcast community in the world.
What a day. What a game.
Wolves,
Hope everyone has
Wolves,
a happy new year.
1-1.
Happy New Year 2026. Hope everyone has a good one. Stay safe out there, sir. Want to support the podcast? Check out our store, americadevils.store. Grab some merch. We also have a free weekly newsletter at reddevils.com/newsletter. Sir, give us our top 10 dollars last 7 days.
Number one, how you doing? How you doing? Appreciate all our American Devils listening week in, week out. Couldn't do it without you. Number one, Los Angeles, California, Chicago, Illinois, Dublin, Ireland, Charlotte, North Carolina, Portland, Oregon, Melbourne, Australia, New York, Orlando, Florida, Oslo, Norway, and last but not least, Raleigh, North Carolina. Appreciate all the American Devils listening week in, week out. Happy 2025. Have a happy and prosperous
2026.
New Year. 2025.
2026.
What
so
year is
it's-
it?
it's,
What year is it?
You know,
Hit
Ted Hog's not the manager.
Yeah, who are we? Yeah, is this a Blue Golf?
Yeah, like and subscribe to the channel. We are like the number one YouTube channel. It doesn't tell you to like and subscribe, so please do that. We're also, if you're listening on Spotify or iTunes, get over to YouTube, like and subscribe. We have clips and shorts over there. Have a lot of fun. We're a small podcast. Everything you do goes a long way. You want to shout into clouds, tweet at us. We'll talk about it. It's this team forever. You know, hopefully one day we'll be back to the promised land and everybody be singing Glory, Glory, Man United.